Good afternoon. Well, I'm delighted to be here. Everything has been said about what I do. I'll just be brief, highlight some of the things that I thought I would share with you on this occasion, and thank you very much for inviting me to give this opportunity. Most of the time, what I did was not pre-planned, and that's very important because most of us are told that you have to plan ahead many things. But most of my work was unplanned, accidental. And I was forced by the circumstances which I was in to jump into doing things. That's how things have happened, and I continued, and I was sort of stubborn to get things being done. That's what all about. Even the microcredit story that you just heard, where I began, that was the circumstances of famine in Bangladesh. And I was teaching like university here, and the famine is going on in the country. And I was feeling terrible that I learned a subject which is totally worthless, economics. And I thought, what kind of subject is this that I learned? I spent so much time behind it, which doesn't help me to give any idea what I should do in a situation of famine. People die right in front of my eyes, and I can't do anything. There is nothing they have told me, equipped me to act. So that was the kind of frustration which led me to something else. I felt that since I don't know anything how to be useful to other people, why don't I go to the village next door to the university, see if I can make myself useful to at least one person. I know economics will not help me, so as a human being, I'll try to explore what I can do. And that's what I tried to do. And other things started happening. I tried to find people I can be of some help to somebody, tiny things. And then I saw the loan sharking in the village. It's a horrible thing that I see in the village. So what I did, in order to protect the victims of the loan sharks, idea that came to my mind, why don't I lend the money myself? If I lend the money, people don't have to go to a loan shark. They can come to me. And the problem will be solved. Economics didn't tell me what to do, so let me find a way how to do that. And I started doing that, taking money from my own pocket and giving to people who needed the money. And that is the beginning. And it became very popular. Everybody wanted to borrow money from me. And I was very happy. Meaning I see that, yes, this is making them happy. They don't have to become victim of the loan sharks. And it became so big, ultimately I thought of creating a separate bank for that. And it was a tough job to create a bank. But I have gone through it. Finally, in 1983, I created the bank, called it Grameen Bank or Village Bank, and then expanded doing that. So that's again something that I highlight, that I have never learned anything about banking. And when people tell me, what is the best thing that worked for you when you started lending money and you created a bank out of it? I said, best thing that happened to me, the lucky thing that happened to me, that I never studied banking. If I did study banking, I said I would never be able to do the Grameen Bank. Because what I have done in Grameen Bank, I violated every single rule of banking. If I take a course like you do in banking, they will drill me all the rules in my head. And when I try to do this, and all the rules say, no, you can't do that. You have to do this, you have to do this. Now that I didn't know anything, I just did it. Later on, I found out that every single rule that's in the book of banking, I violate. Bank go to the rich people, I want to go to the poor people. Bank want to work in the city, I go to the village. Bank want to lend money to men, I went to women. Bank want to take collateral, I said forget about collateral. In the conventional bank, banks are owned by rich people. I created a bank which is owned by poor people. Not only in conventional bank, banks are owned by rich people, they are rich men. I created a bank which is owned by poor women. So everything is the other way. And that taught me a lesson. The lesson is, if you want to go to a new destination which was not gone before, you have to build new roads to get there. Old roads will never take you to a new destination. Old roads will always take you to the old destination. Most of us, what we do, we just learn about the old roads because that's readily available. New roads are not available. New roads have to be built. In order to do that, you have to design what the destination is, where you want to go. I think for the learning process, most important thing is to decide where do you want to go. If you cannot decide where you want to go, you fall victim to learn the old things, do the old ways, and get to the old life. So that's the challenge. Define the destination where you want to go. Then build the roads to go there. It's an exciting experience. Today, Grameen Bank in Bangladesh has over 9 million borrowers, mostly women, 97% women. They are most illiterate. They cannot read, cannot write, right from the beginning. So one of the things we insisted, the children born in Grameen families should not repeat the fate of their parents of illiteracy. So we took it as our own responsibility to make sure all the children of Grameen families go to school. We are not a government, we are not in school authority or anything, just simple an idea that we have to do this ourselves. And we took it seriously. And ever since we began, we made sure the children go to school. It's part of our job as Grameen Bank's job. As a result, the whole second generation in all these 9 million families are literate, educated. We gave them education loans, tell them that you can go as high as you want. Money is not your problem. Your mother's bank has unlimited money. Don't worry about money. Just concentrate and continue as far as you can go. As a result, we had high school graduate, college graduate, master's degrees, PhDs, engineers, doctors, because they are as good as anybody else. Simply, opportunities were not there for them. Not the lack of ability, it's a lack of opportunity. But that created a problem for us, and particularly a problem for me. They keep complaining to me when they finish their school, college, and so on. Why did you send us to school? Because we finished our school, we are graduates, but there's no job in the country. So you created a problem for us, make us unemployed people. I didn't know how to handle that part. So I thought about it. Then I started reacting in my own way. Whenever I see these young people complaining about it, I kind of accuse them. I tell them, who told you to have a job? Why are you looking for a job? Did your teacher tell you to have a job? Of course, they can't answer that question. Why are we looking for a job? I said, did you study in the books that you have to have a job? They don't answer. I tell them, whoever has told you, they told you a wrong thing. Job, always remember, job is an obsolete idea. Don't follow that path. You tell yourself again and again, the best when you get up in the morning, you tell yourself that I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. And behave like a job creator. If you're a job seeker, you feel small. If you're a job creator, you feel tall. Why should you look for a job? Then they keep saying, well, we don't know how to start a business. You are asking us to start a business, but nobody taught us how to start a business. In school, they don't talk about it. So we have not learned about it. All we have learned is physics, chemistry, history, biology, whatever the courses are. Not business, how to start a business. I said, but you are children of Grameen families. You remember your mother joined Grameen Bank 30 years back and took a loan, $20 loan, $30 loan. And when she first took that loan, she was scared to death. How can I handle so much money in my hand? 3,000 taka, 4,000 taka, 5,000. This is an enormous amount of money. But she still dared to take that and worked very hard to make sure she's able to pay back this money, every penny, including the interest on that. And she never failed. How come your illiterate mother knew what to do with herself? After all your education, you don't know what to do with yourself. You are saying that nobody taught you how to start a business. Did your mother go to business school to learn it? Then I tell them, look, the difference between your mother and you is simple. Your mother is a natural human being. No education could corrupt her. She remained as natural as she could be. And she behaved in a natural way. And that's why she became an entrepreneur. Your education has destroyed your mind, corrupted your mind. You think only thing you can do is to work for somebody else. I tell them that human beings are not born to work for anybody. Human beings are entrepreneurs. We always find our own enterprise. That's why we are on this planet. That's what we do in this planet. When we came to this planet, we are not sending job applications to anybody. When we're in the caves, we are not sending job application from one cave to the another cave. We were hunters, we became gatherers, we became farmers. That's what we were. But somebody converted you to think that, no, that's not what you should do. You should be working for somebody else. That's what went wrong. I said, you can be an entrepreneur. So what we do now to address this issue, we create a social business venture capital fund, ask every young person to come up with a business idea. Once you come up with a business idea, we invest in your business. We become your partner. So every unemployed young person become our partner. All he or she has to do is to run the business and make it successful, return the money that we gave her. We said we are a social business. We are not interested in the money that you make, the profit that you make. We are not interested in our profit, your profit. Keep it to yourself. Just return the money that we gave you. And your job is done. And we'll use the money to give it to somebody else. Now thousands and thousands of young people come every month, come with business ideas. We keep on investing. They keep on creating businesses in business. In the book, when I say a world of 3 zeros, zero poverty, zero unemployment, zero net carbon emission. People say, when you say zero unemployment, that means you will employ everybody in your system. I said, no, that's not what we're going to do. I said, the whole idea of unemployment came from the concept of employment. If you didn't have the concept of employment, you won't have unemployment. Simple. And that's what I want to go back to. So as a human being, we are entrepreneur. So if we all become entrepreneur, there's no question of unemployment. And that's the direction we can go anytime. I said, how do you know that all people are entrepreneur? Insisting so much that everybody is an entrepreneur. I said, I don't know. I keep insisting, but only thing I can present to you from my side, In Jain Bank, we have 9 million borrowers, mostly women. Every single one of them is an entrepreneur. And wherever the microcredit went in the world, it's everywhere in the world. And if people take these tiny loans, they're not taking it to find a job for themselves. They're doing it to become an entrepreneur. So millions and millions of these poor people, mostly illiterate people, hardly little education. If they become entrepreneur, they can become entrepreneur. I see no reason why anybody cannot be entrepreneur. That's a hard fact. So I don't need to go and do a new research for that. Simply you give them the opportunity and they will turn into entrepreneur. And that's the way it should be. So this direction continued. And I see there are many other problems in the world and in the area that we work. So every time I see a problem, the way I try to address that problem, I create a business to solve it. So in the process, I created many, many of these businesses, problem-solving businesses. And the academic people tell me that there is nothing called problem-solving businesses. Business is to make money. You create business to make money. I said, but I create business not to make money, but to solve problems. So that doesn't look like a business. So what's wrong with that? Not taking profit from a business, is this a crime or something? Is there a law in Bangladesh that if you don't take profit from your business, you'll be jailed, you'll be punished? I said, there is no such law. I do it on my own wish, and I enjoy it. That opened up another controversy, another big debate, whether this is a best business or this is not a business. I said, this is a genuine business. The only thing you'd have done when you teach economics, you are telling students, you're telling people that human beings on this planet are driven by self-interest or selfishness. So we assumed all human beings are exclusively selfish beings. I said, that's terribly wrong. I said, the real human beings that we meet every day are not the ones that reflect that. Real human beings are made of selfishness and selflessness. But economic theory has blocked out the selfless part, kept only the selfish part. As a result, we have created a massively wrong world for ourselves because it's a greed-driven world. So I'm opening up the door for selflessness to be active. So if you agree human being has both selfishness and selflessness, then you'll need two kinds of businesses. Business to be selfish, make money, and business who are selfless to solve problems. Selflessness-driven businesses. And that's what we call social business. Non-dividend company to solve human problems. Suddenly, it opens up many doors. Suddenly, you can see any problem that comes in front of you, you can solve it in a very sustainable, in a very creative way. That's the direction we want to go. So this is a controversy that started saying that the world that we created is a reflection of the things that we believe. But we believe in something which is not true, like human being being selfish. That's not true. Human beings are selfish and selfless. By teaching economics in the way, create this understanding among the students that the entire economy, entire world is driven by self-interest, creates a wrong kind of direction in the minds of the young people. I said economics, when we teach in the classroom, it equips us with one kind of glasses with dollar signs. So we see the world with dollar signs. We don't see anything else. I said that's how we created the world with that selfish look. What I'm proposing, I said, instead of dollar sign glasses, I'm proposing bifocal glasses. You have dollar sign in your glass, also global sign in your glass. You see the world. Both. That's all I'm saying. And suddenly, if you have that bifocal glass, completely world changes. All of a sudden, many of the problems we have created just disappear because you see things in a completely different way. All the massive poverty that we are talking about, massive inequality, obscene inequality that exists, all the other problems of environmental hazards, the problem of environmental threat, all disappear just for one little change. The moment you put into it, suddenly your ability changes completely. And with that, I have been adding by saying all human beings are equipped with unlimited creative power. Simply, our education, our society doesn't allow us to use that creative power in the fullest way. We do not unleash our creative part. First, that idea doesn't exist in our education. Second, when it's all job-driven education, then you have some problem. Every job takes away your creative power. You're no longer the person that you are. Job doesn't require your creative power. Job requires you to work under instruction. So they lay down all the rules of the game, what you should be doing in your job. Very small slot that you have to fit in. I said, that's a shame that a giant of a human being has to be squeezed into a little slot called a job. So our creativity is sacrificed. And that's what the damaging part of it. Once we get out of it, suddenly we discover ourselves completely differently. All our problems are created by human beings, not somebody else, not some divine force someplace else. We created our problems. And that's a good thing to know, because if we know and you're convinced that all our problems are created by human beings, suddenly we realize that all problems can be solved by human beings. We don't have to go to somebody else. It's what we think creates the world. So if you think that we can change this, and we'll change it, as simple as that. But under the circumstances, what we learn, what we do, that's not the direction we go. We just keep repeating the things done before. And we get into the loop, which you can't get out. So this is the place, education, to discover yourself. Find your journey. And make sure you define your destination. And that destination should be to create a world that you should be proud of. Thank you very much.